So it's really like a specific day where we don't create things. We're really gonna try to break the things that are currently running.
Yes.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds like a playground to me.
Someone had the assignment to just change a little config somewhere during the day and see what happens.
Ooh.
And it took them a while to notice that something was wrong there.
They were still friends after the day.
yes.
When is the next one planned?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, May 28th. Let's go.
Over to you.
So we have a very interesting topic today, a chaotic topic, I would say. We'll hear more about it later, but maybe let's start with you guys first. Maybe you would like to introduce yourself. Maybe you want to go first, Guido?
I'm Guido. I've been working at Bol for a little over 10 years. We celebrated my 10-year anniversary recently.
Congrats.
Thank you. Started in what is now known as TPS as a system engineer. I've been there for, I think, that must have been like 6.5 years, because I think that 3.5 years ago I switched to the SRE team. Yeah, that's about it. Anything else you would like to know?
No, that sounds great.
I love it.
Sounds great.
So I'm Bart. I'm also in the SRE team, a direct colleague of Quido. I started 5 years ago in also TPS in Insights, and then switched to advertising, and then a year later I switched to SRE, and that's making my day now actually.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Next to making music.
Next to making music, yeah.
Yeah. You can maybe work on our jingle, because we still don't have it.
Oh, yeah. Challenge accepted.
I love it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Nice.
Very smooth.
You just waited for the cameras to turn on, and it's on tape now.
You've got it on tape now. Yeah. Signed in blood.
Yeah. No takesy backsies. Yeah.
No, awesome. But yeah, really cool to have you guys on here today. And let's talk about a really cool topic, right? What you mentioned already. Bit chaotic. Chaos engineering and Chaos Day in particular. Yeah. Maybe we can just start off with Chaos Day. What is it?
Yeah. Well, Chaos Day is a day focusing on chaos engineering. And that is actually the discipline of building confidence, building trust in that your application stack or your landscape can withstand the turbulent conditions that exist in production. So you're basically defining scenarios. What can go wrong? What are my failure modes? How can I see what's going wrong? What procedures do I have in place? What metrics do I have in place? That's already diving in too many details. But basically, what can go wrong, and how do I notice it, and how do I respond to that? That's what you replay during a Chaos Day. And basically, that's what chaos engineering is about. Mm-hmm. And we organized a Chaos Day a few years ago, and we started. We continue doing that every 6 months. And in that day, we bring the tools to impact your pods, and your traffic, and support teams to help you with basically limiting that or trying to influence that, trying to replay what can go wrong there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For example. Which doesn't mean that that's the only thing you can do. There's a lot of other things that you can do there.
Yeah, that's really cool. So it's really like a specific day where we don't create things. We're really gonna try to break the things that are currently running.
Yes.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds like a playground to me.
Yeah.
Awesome. And where does this originate from? Like the Chaos Days? Because you mentioned you organized one. Is this something returning?
Do you know?
Well, we were not involved in the first two iterations, I think. So we joined. It's organized by the reliability community, and I think we joined it after maybe 1 or 2 Chaos Days already happened. So we were not there. Then we stepped in and joined, and from there on we can tell you everything. But where it was born, I actually don't really know.
No.
Yeah, you're building the cliffhangers. I like it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so what's interesting is why is it 1 day? Don't we have Chaos Week or Chaos Hour? Is it like a magical?
Well, it's substantial, but it's limited.
Yeah.
And therefore, it really gives focus. I think that's the best value. Of course, you can do something in an hour, and of course, you can spend a week trying to do that. But it has a head and a tail, basically. And it's by making it 1 day, you're actually enforced to really think on, okay, what am I going to do? Because what we see is teams that come unprepared, they have a great day. They really figure out stuff to examine, to explore. But we started preparing a few iterations ago, helping teams prepare a few iterations ago. And we saw something shift there. Can you?
Well, we noticed in the ones that we did where we did not do the preparations, that some teams would spend like half a day just to think about possible things to explore. And we were thinking, well, it's only 1 day, right? Then it's already lunchtime, and then after lunch you're going to try to break things, but it actually costs time to break things and to repair it and all of that. So we're thinking, well, maybe it helps if they come a little bit more prepared, and then we can actually spend this entire day on breaking and then repairing what we broke, and learn, and also to structure it a little bit more. So we encourage teams to really think about it as a hypothesis. This is what I expect to happen, or this is what I want to test. This is what I expect to happen, and then just write it all down like a real investigation, right? And that helps because we get way better results because of that. They're well prepared, way more than before. So we get more results. And to add to why 1 day, it's also easier for us to like get all the people in the room. Well, because we really would like to have some support from network people and from compute people and database people. And you can run your chaos experiment every day of the week that you would like to, but good luck getting immediate attention when you broke your database, for instance, right?
Makes
you
sense.
can get that, but it takes more time. And when they're already there, it's way easier to just contact them, say, oh, I broke my database, can you help me do this, do that? And to get all those people in the room, that's really helpful for running those experiments. So that's why I think it's a good thing to do it on 1 day.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Also on a practical level, just for the other teams not being disrupted by the landscape.
Oh, that also that is actually happening. Like, so on that day, loads of things are breaking.
Yeah.
And we do organize everything, but we are not responsible of like managing your stakeholders, or teams can choose to break something in production, right? That's allowed. That's not our rules. If you have the error budget, if you have the room to spare to break things on production, and you think you can do it, you do it. But we are not informing the stakeholders. We are not managing anything like of that, right? So you still have to take care of all of that. But yes, the environments are broken a lot more on that day than any other day. So that might actually also be counterproductive in some way, because you're trying to test your hypothesis and someone else broke something else, and now your hypothesis breaks. But it doesn't happen too often.
Well, and it also depends on the findings.
Depends on, yes, and could be interesting findings indeed. Like,
Definitely,
that depends. He wasn't there because they were breaking something.
Yeah,
that meant this for us.
We had that in the past. We saw because it was Chaos Day, there was also a way for us, because some teammates did it. And then we found out, hey, there's a service down, and apparently we are also unstable because of it. We're not resilient.
Oh,
so that also gave us insights into okay, so we should also make something new there. Yeah. So I think that also it's just extra things that you get from the initiatives.
So you're saying actually that you experienced first or second hand the results of a Chaos Day.
Definitely, yeah. Where at first, of course, you're as an engineer like, annoying, why is this service down? And then you start thinking like, wait, this shouldn't happen. Like, we should just be resilient.
Exactly.
So that's really cool and a nice benefit.
Yeah, and intended. So so who's participating in these Chaos Days? Is it like full teams or parts of teams? And maybe another question is, does everybody know, like the product owner, or is he surprised as something on live on production?
No. Basically, that's is everyone in the know? That's what Quido said. That's up to you.
Okay.
It's our we take it upon us to broadcast. Hey, this is happening then.
Yeah.
But to be more specific to your stakeholders, that's up to you, because we cannot know who your stakeholders are exactly.
But do you recommend to?
Definitely. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll know.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just be quiet and break production.
That
works.
Funny thing, we had that ties into the question who's participating. A few years ago, we had a team that came as a team. It depends. Some people come by just by themselves and explore and see what they can do, and others the situation I wanted to touch upon, that was a complete product team that came, including product owner, including testers. Everyone was there.
Nice.
And so they had really quite a list of things they wanted to test and were able to test. So they learned a lot there, and it really helped them become a team, I think, as well.
Yeah. Nice team building event.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the funny thing that they did actually is the secret agent. They someone had the assignment to just change a little config somewhere during the day and see what happens. And it took them a while to notice that something was wrong there.
They were still friends after the day?
Yes. Yeah.
And because I think that is super nice. And does it also happen, for example, that because currently it is the experts of the team, they're making hypothesis and they're testing their hypothesis, right? Does it also ever happen that teams are exchanging OPEX? So that, for example, I will test different teams? Or is that more of red hacking, like doing something
I like that angle.
I've never seen it, but it's an interesting thought.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would be curious, because sometimes you do see that people that are not day-to-day in their OPEX or in the services that they're reliable for, that you have so much weird and different angles that you never thought about.
Interesting scenario.
That's a difficulty when writing documentation and reviewing. If it's your own app, you're blind to all the things that you didn't write down or are written down a little bit weirdly. So having someone else use it is very valuable.
Yeah.
So is the way you can explore that actually is a bit limited, because you'll soon run into permissions issues, but that's still it's good to try. I think. Interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Great thought.
Let's see you next Chaos Day. I'm curious now as well.
So would those permissions, would that apply to non-production environments as well? I think so, right? Still cannot restart someone else's pods.
No.
Or something like that. Okay, so that would be kind of problematic then.
But you can give it the secret agent the rights.
You can prepare it and add a team that they can do it. You could do that. Yeah.
Well,
it sounds like an interesting experiment.
Yeah, I was just because of course that's not for the listeners, but of course we had this red team. That's pretty cool to test out each other's services and just see like, okay, what actually can go wrong and how can we influence certain hypotheses that we have. So exactly. I'm on board.
What we see happening is teams that have adjacent applications both joining in the Chaos Day. And that's awesome thing to test out. Right.
Yeah, would it be highly competitive as well?
Also
adds to the fun factor, right?
Working together, right? Because you are depending on each other. So it's not really competitive, but more like how can we break things together? We own a chain. We are both in the same chain or the same user journey. So how can we do hypothesis tests on those?
Yeah, really cool. It almost sounds a bit indeed like a hackathon kind of day.
It's comparable.
It feels like that as well. It's very vibrant. Things happening everywhere. Everyone is doing different things, and it's just you have a group of people sitting on that table and a group over there, and it's happening all the time. And every like so many hours, I guess, we just group everyone together. Like, hey, how are you doing? Just a little bit of an update. So 2 hours in or something, how are things going? Do you need help? Blah, blah, blah. And there's a lunch in between, but it's like there's a lot happening all the time. Yeah.
So what were interesting findings during one of your chaos days where you were like, oh, this is cool,
or funny,
or funny,
or
funny,
details.
Yeah. Even better.
I would say almost all the findings are interesting. So at the end of the day, we come together, and we have changed that format a little bit. In the beginning, was more like handing out prizes for the. We had just made funny sentences, the best. This and that find, or the worst, or whatever. And nowadays it's more about sharing. There's less of these ceremonial things, but more like just sharing what you think was interesting. And almost everything is interesting. So for me, that's actually my favorite part of the day, when we sit back and everyone tells their stories, what they tried to test, and what they found, and almost everything is just super interesting. It's so weird. And it might not touch my services, might not be important to me, but those findings are just really interesting. And there are funny ones as well. Do you know a few funny ones that you want to talk about?
Well, there are issues. There's lots of things we saw, like, and it varies from missing documentations from up to being unable to restore a database from a backup, for example, which is quite crucial.
Yeah.
To test once in a while, right? So something you want to be aware of. Also, other more functional things like interfaces being a dead end or something along that line. And one thing that stood out is I don't want to
disclose. You don't want to disclose too much, or?
Yeah, exactly. It's not up to me to
to provide all details, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm one of the funny things that we found, actually issues that were fixed found already a few chaos days ago, that reoccurred later because they've taken a piece of software and found something that was wrong, fixed that, but put it in a library and missed a few spots, and exactly those same spots they've seen before happened, but this time it was in a library. So it's a good find, actually, to during a chaos day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think there was a funny find with the circuit breakers and the timeouts,
That's
right?
exactly the one I was pointing to.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they basically had some timing set on the circuit breakers and the timeouts on their dependencies, and basically the circuit breakers never closed or opened. How do you say that?
Yeah.
Because the I think they got a bad response from the upstream before the circuit breaker would kick in. So the circuit breakers just didn't do anything. They found out during these tests.
Yeah.
And the database one was kind of funny because they really didn't actually want to test the database recovery. They just wanted to start with a clean database, and they just they knew they had the recovery database. You just wipe the database, and they weren't able to recover it. So they spent almost all of the day just getting the database working again, which is a very interesting find in my opinion. But it was not what they intended to test.
And this is
exactly.
Staging environment, right? Or
it is.
Okay. Otherwise, it would be an even interesting story.
Yeah, exactly. Or the ones that were unexpectedly were running into breaking the glass issues during a chaos day, and figuring out, okay, how does this work?
I think that was last iteration.
It was
because there was a break the glass introduced, so we now no longer can just go to production and change things. We need to break the glass to do that, but it requires infrastructure upgrades or updates. You have to change your infrastructure before you can break the glass, and only then you can. So it takes a long time, and there was an interesting find because we actually all have to deal with this, especially in out-of-office support and those situations where you have to break the glass all the time if you need to do something in production.
Yeah.
And we kind of knew that it was there, but it was never like explored. What does it actually mean to do it? And that's what we ran into that.
That was very helpful.
That was a good find.
So you mean like the procedure was just too long, for just in case something actually happened?
It was a theoretical procedure up to then. It's something you need to do in case there's a fire, right?
Yeah.
But there's never a fire big enough to actually test that. And now they've found out how impactful that procedure actually was. So
interesting.
It takes a while. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help with the time to mitigate. Right?
Is this also feedback you give back? Like if wouldn't it be useful to practice this break the glass maybe every year, just as a team that you're?
It's a good question. You're absolutely right that it makes sense to test it. And I don't think we gave that feedback to anyone, did we?
No, the same with disaster recovery. Test it every once in a while. Yeah. There are several initiatives that actually support that the importance actually of testing it once in a while. But we didn't broadcast that up to now.
Let's make that's good. Let's make
there's a lot of notes here to make.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, because that's also learning, right? And you can put it into practice by just putting it on an agenda. And hey, everyone, practice every, I don't know.
Well, it's you're absolutely right, and it's not something that we have done, but maybe it's something that we should be doing. So we try to every case day that we do, we look back and what went well, what didn't go so well, and what can we improve. So I think we have iterated and improved quite a lot on the chaos days. And maybe this is the next thing to address. Like there's findings there, and we share it with the group, but there's real value in sharing it to a broader audience.
I think there's two things to that. We also share it in a broader sense because we send out the invite also to a broader audience. Then we post our findings on Viva Engage and on Slack. I was still thinking workplace, so that's one thing. And the other thing is all the things we found, all the procedures we've set up over the years, we've collected them into a set of scenarios. And I think this really could go into that repository, which it is turning to be now.
So maybe then sharing is not enough.
No.
Maybe we should make an action item out of something like the break the glass is a good example.
Yeah.
We could have made an action item for ourselves to address it, not only share it but also address it. So that the right people
more actively
have attention for it and look at if it is a problem and if it's a problem, fix it. But we have that's something that we can. That's
definitely.
Nothing to write down.
Sounds like a plan.
I love it. Yeah. I think that's also the best way of marketing. First of all, everyone should attend Chaos Day, but I think if you miss it, people are definitely interested in seeing, okay, but what were the findings of that day and how can that benefit my own product as well?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's super cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nice action.
Yeah. So talking about everyone should participate. So how do you work on the engagement? How is the engagement? How do you encourage it?
So we've learned. That's also something we've been working on over the years. So we recently got Maite and Ronald to send out the invite.
And for the users, Maite and Ronald are the
CPTO and the
Senior Director Engineering.
Thank you. Thank you.
On top of your mind.
Big boss.
The big bosses, they sent out the invites actually to stimulate people to join, and that results in a turn up, which is growing actually. About the turn up, the interesting thing we see there is that people there seems to be a threshold for people to join. Once they join, they come back, and I wouldn't say bring their friends, but they keep engaged with Chaos Days.
Once you're in, you cannot get out. That's
Hotel California. Yeah.
Exactly.
See where you were getting at. So we see that happening.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so the management buy-in helps.
Yes. Yeah, we're working on getting more buy-in from product because there's hesitance in teams. Okay, is this important enough to spend my day on, actually? But any day can be a chaos day if you're not watching, right?
Sometimes unintended.
Unintended, yeah. Actually, we saw it the other way around. People participating in chaos days, setting up their hypothesis, and then being unable to join Chaos Day because their hypothesis is actually playing out of production during that day.
Oh, okay.
So,
help.
Stranger coincidence, but that happened. Yeah.
Cool.
Wow, funny how that turns indeed.
You jinx it actually.
That's it. They jinxed it.
It was a very, I think, a proud moment for us, right? Because this was the first time that we actually introduced the hypothesis suggestions. So we sat there in a room like, come to us and we will go through your hypothesis with you. And we had one person that actually joined all the way at the end of the day. So we saw no one the entire day, but one person joined. And then he came in like, okay, what can we do? And then we asked like, okay, what does your environment look like? What is your service doing? How is it being called? Or what are the systems around it? And then we just started poking, like, what happens if we send too many messages here? What happens if you're offline for like 20 minutes and you have like a queue of 1 million messages over there? He started poking in that system and he wrote everything down. And then indeed, he did not come to the actual Chaos Day because the things that we poked into, those things actually broke on production. So it was such a nice, warm feeling or a nice moment. Like, okay, you were able to find the holes in the system and.
That remind me not to ask them to point out my flaws.
But bad karma.
You'd rather be surprised then.
Well, it's a choice. I would do it controlled. But,
exactly.
Wow. That's a super nice story though. That actually happened and
it was
replayed.
So nice. Yeah.
Kind of a superpower, right? So this can happen.
Let's not talk about all their infrastructure we're running.
I will say nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe you can turn it around and say all the positive things. Hey, you can stay up for 100% of the time.
That's basically the flip side of fixing things.
The anti-chaos day.
Yeah, anti-chaos. Maybe that's also a nice concept.
Or maybe we could call it like that. We do chaos, but it's the anti-chaos day.
Yeah, it's like the order day or something.
Yeah.
And for like the buy-in of everyone, because indeed we call it always chaos engineering. Yeah. Might it be indeed better to phrase it differently so that entire products join? Because maybe the word engineering for them is like, we have to work with YAMLs.
Engineering being a problem. Yeah,
I don't know.
Be.
Could be.
Okay.
I'm just thinking out loud. But maybe because I do actually see a lot of value whenever indeed also design, business analyst, data analyst, data scientist, like the full product joins in. And I think that will be super insightful. Yeah, it's cool.
Right. So do you have suggestions?
Ooh.
Not yet.
Oh, I have to sleep on that one. That's a good question.
Yeah, because I also cannot come up with something right now.
Yeah, we actually have the same with TechLab. Yeah. Like the word TechLab really emphasizes tech.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing we talk about, I hope.
No, indeed.
No, I've seen several topics here come up which have nothing to do per se with tech. So
it is something you can test because that's something we sometimes heard on like pre-talks of people like, but TechLab. So we thought this is not something like a topic that would suit TechLab, right? Because it's tech. And we're like, right, yeah. But nevertheless, it's called chaos engineering, the term, and the day is called Chaos Day. So
exactly.
The word is already pretty obvious. But I'm just brainstorming and curious, like why is it not? Are we already bribing with pizza hour?
Candy. So that helps.
Nice.
Perhaps we should up our game there.
But I like it. Sounds like an awesome day.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah, it's very educational and inspiring, empowering, I think, as well.
When is the next one planned?
Good question.
Yeah, May 28th. Oh, yeah. So like I said, we do it twice a year. One is actually in this half of the year when features are being developed, and one is pre-season, which is just before the holiday season. Actually, when we really need to put our money where our mouth is. Yeah. Actually, and that's a very good time to test your systems against the raging winds of production, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we do it twice a year.
Yeah.
So for say other companies who might be listening, do you guys have tips and tricks for other teams who want to start this up?
Prepare and poke. Yeah. Try to think what can go wrong, and try to find your failure modes, and see how you can discover that your failure is actually playing out. Yeah. Spend time on it.
Yeah. That's the fun part, right? You get to break things. You get to think, how can I break this? Which I find very much fun to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really
find the holes, find the problems. Yeah. It's really interesting.
Were you as a kid also the person who broke their toys?
Maybe.
Or from your sisters?
You haven't, right?
I did it.
Sounds like a personal...
Guilty.
I've been that guy that really fully unscrewed his entire laptop.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then out of nowhere, I'm like, wait, I miss a component, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, been there.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, also, I the short-circuited our house because I found a record player on the street and I was thinking, hey, if I can take off the wires and put them in the socket, what will happen?
I actually did something like that.
That was interesting.
Sounds like chaos engineering.
It's actually basically Can I break something?
Yeah,
this is nice.
Did you learn something from it?
Yeah. Oh, my mother put a hard lesson on me that day. I never forgot.
No.
Well, thinking back, like just putting wires into the socket is one of the stupidest things you can do, right? Why did we do that?
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm still alive because all the stupid things I did.
Yeah. But it's a good learning, and now you've learned how you prevent it or how you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's definitely nice where it ties into case day.
Yeah, but then a little bit more control, a safer environment.
I mean, bringing down your production pods will be a bit...
And as for doing it, because I think that was your question, how do you do this? You can start really small, right? It doesn't really matter. You don't really need an organized day, but it helps because then you can get all the help in that you need, but you can just start. And I think organizing, I think that's what you mentioned, like prepare. So I think that's the best thing you can do. Figure out what you want to test, see what you need, because that's also a reason why we do the hypothesis day. Yeah. What kind of support do we need to get into the room? We can tell by the hypothesis we have in front of us, okay, we need this type of person there. Yeah. So I think these are the things you can do. Just write down what you want to test and try to think like the other side, like the guy that wants to break things or destroy your stuff. And just write it down and then figure out, okay, how can I test that? And who do I need as a support? And then let's just plan a day to do it. And I think that's the smallest, or that's a good way to do it. Yeah. And you can make it larger if you're thinking about building a community to do this within the company and make it bigger. Yeah. I guess that's just doing it and announcing it, right? Yeah, exactly. Just gather people and say it's, what was it, May 27?
28.
May 28. May 28 is the day. Come on,
exactly.
In the room and break things. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So indeed, prepare and think of what you can. Who is coming up front? Are you going to do practical experiments? You can also do tabletop experiments where you actually examine your system and see where it can go wrong. That's something you can do with more product-oriented colleagues as well, right?
Yeah.
So and again, that day that gives you focus.
It's actually a good one. It doesn't really have to be technical. The tabletops are super interesting. You can just lay out your entire journey and see how that works and what you need, and without breaking or touching any technical things. Yeah, that's also very valuable. Yeah. Not really chaos engineering, maybe per se, but maybe preparing for the next one. I would say. Yeah, but it's very valuable as well.
Yeah, solid advice. I would say. Good recipe.
I'm excited for
chaos.
28th of May.
28th of May.
Repeat it a couple more times. I'm excited for that one. I'm gonna join for sure.
Cool.
So, yeah, we really want to thank you guys for being here today. Learned a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to hear the stories at the 28th of May.
When was it again?
I'm not sure. so thanks a lot though for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.